Okay, so I'm back with my fourth video over 3 days. So I thought it'd be really fun to rank UChicago buildings just based off my experience alone. I have a feeling this is going to be incredibly biased, but you know what? It's fine because I'm the only one that's ever going to see this video. I have a feeling that it's going to go super well because I am an expert after, my 1 year here at the college. So let's just jump right into it, guys! Can you tell that my mental state is deteriorating? Oh, lordy. Okay, let's just do it. So, yesterday I went ahead and created a little tier list of all of the buildings at I made a tier list of all the important buildings at UChicago, and I have a feeling I'm gonna forget what half of them are called, but that's fine because, again, nothing matters. So let's go ahead and start. The first one here is Barlett. Now, if we're talking about the aesthetic of Barlett, I think that, it might rank quite high. But again, the food is not great. The taco bar is not okay. So I think it would be fair to place it in the B range, mostly because of the aesthetic. I think that the gym is pretty sweet. Second one is the Haas, the old hospital campus. Now, I've never been in there, but I was going to have a class there, which makes me think it's quite neat. So, because it's old and cool, I'll also put it in B. But again, I feel like if I'd actually been there, it would probably go higher. Health. Next one is the BSLC. Now, it looks very scary on the outside, but I had my biocore class there in fall of last year, and it was neat. There were lots of cool things. It really made me feel like a real scientist, me, classic econ scientist. So I'll place it in the A. It had also a huge fish tank, and I was very into that, looking at the clownfish and shit. Next one, BJ. Now, being from a dorm that usually gets shit on for being like old and gross, I vibe with BJ. So I think that if someone were to stumble upon this video and be from BJ, they would be very upset with me if I also did not place it in A tier. Number 5 on this list is Kathy. Now, it's a little upsetting because the room that is on this picture is no longer being used by, I think many, if not all, of the dorms in that group. It is this like side hall where like you feel like you're in Harry Potter. But you know what? That is the aesthetic that the college wants to go with, and if we're just going to pretend that that room is still available, it is definitely S tier, guys. Like, come on. This building, what is this? I don't even know. Oh, this is Good Speed. Oh shit, hold on. I can't be trusted to know these buildings. Wait, that's Cobb? Okay. That does not look like Cobb to me. Cobb, really cute on the outside, but it does not pass the vibe check on the inside. Very sad, very ugly. So, it's a good solid C tier. Like, I feel like when you pass it, you just think like, wow, I'd like to be in that building, but then you enter it and then you get sad. Next one, Career. It reminds me a lot of, like, the name is like when French people try to pronounce squirrel. So, I've been there for my very short time when I was in CS 151 and gave up. But I had a good time, so we'll throw her in C tier. I don't really care for her. She does have a nice library at the bottom, but outside of that, quite, this is me. Maybe I was a comp sci row, but otherwise. Next is Crown. Again, I feel like there's nothing special about Crown. Like, it's old, that's where the IMs are, but like, that's it, It's just like running. And I guess you can work out there, but like, if you're gonna work at a Crown, you're gonna hike all the way over, especially from iHouse or anything like on the south side of Midway, then you might as well just go to Radnor when it's actually like nice looking. So she will also go in C tier. Eckerd. I think that, see, look how similar these look to, like, between them. Like, Eckerd's vibes are much better than Cobb's vibes, but They just look so similar. I guess I can't, if I'm going to compare the two, I might as well put Eckerd higher than Cobb. All right, that'll be the case then. I trust it. Foster Hall. Ooh. This building I've never been in, but I pointed it out because I like the roof, so it will get A tier. I feel like I'm judging these very unequally, but you know what? Again, what does it matter? If you have a pretty roof, then you will get pretty grade. Unlike my grades, less border. Anyway, it's fine. Next, Harper. I mean, come on, guys. You can't not put Harper Nest here. It is the staple of UChicago study culture. You cannot talk about the libraries and not bring up Harper and talk about how cute it is there. Easy. Ida. Now, this is kind of a poor representation of Ida. I chose it because, the windows are super cute and very Harry Potter vibes, but, the inside is even nicer. People have, their weddings there, and, yeah, you go in and you're, depressed about your career, but you come out and you get to sit in the nice little benches and enjoy yourself until your teacher or your career advisor tells you that you fucked up. So, it's cute. I support. iHouse. Now, I have strong opinions about iHouse because obviously I live there. And it's a weird place to be because you don't necessarily always know what you're going to get when you're at iHouse. So, but then it also is very cute because it's got the vintage vibes and Rockefeller Lounge. And we got our own cafe. So, I think for that, I'll give it A because even though it's far away and all that dumb shit, it's still super adorable and we can't hate on her for that. Next is Kent. I think I would say pretty easy D tier, and this is why. Yes, it's super cute on the outside and it's got the ivy like the rest of the quad, and it's got this little octagonal room, and so it thinks that it's super cool and whatever, hot shit. But that doesn't make it special. It's ultimately just a lecture room, and every class I've ever had in there has made me either bored or sad. So it shouldn't get extra points just because it thinks it's cool. Yeah, OChem. Next, Logan. Logan to me is a weird, I want to say weird. Logan to me is also a difficult one because obviously it's super modern and nice, but does it really have anything going for it? I don't know. It does have a view. So that might be enough for me. If you sneak onto the one of the tippy top floors of Logan, you just look out, you'll be quite impressed. It has great views of Midway, so I think it deserves A tier. Doesn't blow my mind because I feel like you need to have that element of Harry Potter. If you're going to UChicago, you better get what you signed up for. So not quite S, but certainly A. Mansueto. It's so pretty and divergent, but I went there one time to study, and maybe if I was in Max P, I would want to study there more. But man, it is so echoey in there. You open up a binder to get something and it goes and echoes all over the place. So even though it's all cute and it is has a nice robot library, but the echoiness kind of destroys the purpose of even having a library like this. So it is going in D tier along with Kent. Max P. People at Max P would be angry at this. It's so ugly. It is, maybe besides the biggest eyesore on campus. You can't argue with me. It is so ugly. I don't care if the architect was oh, it's gonna be a sunset building. Ugly. Don't fight me. It's true. Angry about it. And I think a part of it too is the fact that people from Max P are what, it's so close to campus. I'm that's the only thing that you guys have going for you. Next is Campus North. This one's a difficult one as well. I'm going to put it in C because it's better than Max P. Don't want to argue with that. But people that live in North are so full of themselves. And maybe I just feel like this because international house people always are feeling attacked. So whenever people talk about how nice North is, I think that, international house people just feel it more than the rest of everyone else. So Maybe I'm just biased as an international Haas student, and I probably, that's completely true. But North is going in C tier, mostly because no Haas culture, and everyone can agree with me on that. Nextly, the OI, Oriental Institute. So I went there for my Hume class last winter, and honestly, it was super cute inside. I was actually very impressed because you wouldn't expect to have like ancient artifacts, on your campus. So, I'll put her up an A because S. History is important, guys. History is hella important. And if you don't realize that, then you're wrong. Ratner. The pool's pretty nice. It's a lot nicer than anything I've ever seen before, but its location makes it very inaccessible to everyone pretty much except for those who live in North or Max P. I'm a little bit angry about it because I had to work out in the basement of iHouse last year, and that's no good because there were no windows. Ratner does have a lot of windows, on the other hand. She gets B tier. I don't feel crazy about her, but, I respect it. The Reg. I know the people that like to study at the Reg, swear by it. So I don't entirely hate the idea of putting it somewhere a little bit higher. Perhaps, see, I don't care. It's ugly. Ugly like Max P. Although, again, I feel like different than Minnesota, you can actually get some work done there. So, and study groups. Don't forget study groups. Those are fantastic little rooms. Reynolds Club. Reynolds Club has a few things. It's got Mandel Hall and not Grounds Bean. Whatever the copy shop is. And they've got the FXK. So, that might be a little bit too high, but we're going to stick with it because I don't care. Next, Rockefeller Esteer, for sure. It's not a church, it's a chapel. And sure, we had to sit through boring lectures there, the beginning of O week. But every time I pass by, I'm always like, damn, that's so pretty looking. And you can take your cute little I graduated college pictures there, and I don't know. The people that play the carillon are cool too, so I respect the vibe. Next, Saie. For sure, A tier. If you've been inside, they have a Starbucks, and all their little conference rooms are really nice and new, and they have a bunch of lounge seating right at the bottom, right by the stairs when you enter. And yeah, it's a bit noisier, but you sit there and you just feel like you've got your shit together. And maybe that's just because it's the econ building, but still. South. So I've only been in South once, or no, I've been in South twice. And both times I was in there, it was a pretty positive experience. Their security is quite good. So if we're comparing it to something like Saie, because we're ignoring Kathy though, so South by itself, I would say the B tier. I think that, if you compare it to something like Gratner, I would say it gives me the same amount of pleasure. Lastly, Woodlawn, the place where I'm currently residing. I think that, that's tricky. If we're comparing it to iHouse, I guess iHouse is too high up on the list. I'll throw it up at A too, because it's in a nice location, close to campus, and it's got, see, I didn't put Woodlawn Commons, so we can throw in dining as well. The dining is okay, and it's got nice views of downtown Chicago as well as the lake if you're high up enough on the building. So I think that's a fair statement to make. And there we go. That is my total list. Overall, I think we've got a semi-decent bell curve of sorts. It's not great, but could be worse. And I would just like to say, yeah, again, fuck you to Kent, Minnesota, and Max P. Peace. Wish me luck at my first day of sophomore year.